Today I'll be making a response to a common, well, I'd say atheist argument, insult, whatever you want to call it, of usually what they say is that Christians are only moral because of what a book tells them. That they're not really moral, they just follow what a book tells them. Or, there's another one, if the fear of hell is the only reason you do good things, then you're not a good person. You're just a bad person on a leash. Ignore the way I pronounced it, that was awful. First off, there's nothing wrong with just taking morals from a book. We learn morals from books and stories all the time. It's one of the easiest way to learn about morals. Two, we don't believe them just because they're written in the Bible. And we don't follow them just because they happen to be in that book. We follow them because they are instructions from God on how to live. God is the creator of morality. He's written the moral codes in all of our hearts. He designed it, and he is morally perfect himself, and a grand authority over everything. When he tells us what to do and what's moral, it's the truth. And he has chosen to explain through many stories in the Bible, especially through himself and Jesus, how we're supposed to live and act. And that's recorded in the Bible. So no, we're not just doing it because the Bible tells us. We're doing it because that's how God created it, and we are following that, at least the best that we can. We also don't just follow it because God says so. It's not arbitrary. God actually gives us plenty of reasons as to why there are morals and immorals. Why is good, what is good, and what is evil, and the reason for it. A lot of that goes back to mankind being created in God's image. Because mankind's created in God's image, it has innate value. Because of that, it is immoral to deprive them of that value, whether it be through killing them, through taking away their valuable life, through hurting them, the valuable body that they have, to many other things. Because man is valuable, so is his work, so is the effort that he does to get like money and material goods. That's why it's wrong to steal. Sexually immoral sins are not wrong because God says, no, you can't do that. They are wrong because sex is purposely designed to be in the context of marriage to create a family. Anything out of that is a misuse of it. This happens for every single sin that we can think of. There's a reason for it. We don't simply follow it because God says so. God gives us the reasons and he shows us why we do have to, why we need to follow them. And the fear of hell is a motivator. Same way with the reward of heaven. They're both motivators. There's nothing wrong with having motivators for our conscience and for the way we live. Like the carrot and the stick. If anyone knows that euphemism or whatever they call it. The stick is to make sure that I think they use donkeys, horse, whatever, doesn't go back. It keeps going forward. And the carrot's in front of it to help motivate to go forward. There's a punishment if it goes back, and a reward if it goes forward. That's what heaven and hell do. There's a reward if you keep living life through God, which is heaven. There's a punishment if you don't live life through God, if you go back through sin. That's hell. It shouldn't be the only reason that you do good things. It should be because Jesus commands us to, because it's the right thing to do. That's why we do good things. So we need to live more like Jesus, and that's exactly how he instructs us to. A lot of the comments are usually that you're not good people, you're just a bad person on a leash. You don't do good things because they're good, you do them because you're afraid of being punished by hell. And that's not true at all. I doubt there's very many Christians who would like to do evil things like that, if only there weren't the rules. If God switched them up and hurting people was condoned, not everyone would instantly start hurting people or would like to. And there's a lot of people who do evil regardless of the fear of hell. A lot of people who ignore it or don't believe it. This isn't true in all, that we are simply bad people on a leash. We have a free will and we fall into doing good and evil all the time. And when we do good, it's because we are aligning our souls with God. we are joining up with God. We are living our life as He intends and wills for us to do. Not because we're simply bad people on a leash, because we're scared. In fact, you can even get it back to them. Is that the reason you don't hurt and murder people? Is because of prison, because of the law? If that wasn't there, would you do the same? If they would, then they would be an evil person on a leash. But if they do it for other reasons, then they're not. If we don't hurt people simply because we're afraid of hell, not because it's the right thing to do and we want to align ourselves with God, then yes, we would be an evil person on a leash. Though again, I disagree with people being labeled as good or evil very much. That is not the reason that Christians are told to do good. It's not the reason that many of us do good either. These are all mostly very petty comments and insults that atheists try to make toward Christians, usually in a lack of respect for their faith and beliefs. But there's always going to be Christians who have doubts. If you ever find yourself wondering, well, why am I doing good things, and is it for the right reason? You can always look and you can always ask. I like this video as a whole way of helping people through that. Not just how to respond, but how to better understand yourselves and why you're living for this. Now, I think when it comes to an actual response, these sort of comments and remarks, I think it would be best to just calmly talk about with them and clear it up, because they have a misunderstanding of what faith in God truly is and where we get our morals from. I think it'd be best to be able to sit down with them and explain to them what you've learned from hopefully from this video or knew before. Or if you want to be petty, you could just also go after their morals. I don't think that's the best way of doing it, though. I think clarifying how we really think and learn is much more important and a much greater way of doing so. But if you really did want to come after their morals, at least from an atheist perspective, I couldn't tell you much about Muslims or other religions. But it's usually pretty simple. Empathy changes from person to person. Your consciousness can be screwed up. You can twist in any way you want to. Anyone can do that. Those happy feelings and rewards from doing good things, they never last. They can go in an instant. So what keeps them to keep doing it? God never changes. The moral code that He created will stay forever the same. How they know theirs will stay. Thank you all for watching. I hope you learned something, and God bless.